I am the Craft Dad. Hello again and welcome back. In this video, we'll be covering my progress on the foam sword that I've been working on. As you recall, we've been working to turn this template into an actual physical sword for my son's costume. Now, before you jump into it, you need to decide, am I going to use LEDs or not? If you are, you're going to want to go to a website to help you figure out your schematic for your LED. This is important. The website and the link below will help you figure out if it's best to do your LEDs in series, in parallel, and also what resistors you need. Finding out what resistors you need is important because it will save you a lot of time and money in purchasing your resistors. They may be very cheap, but it's a pain in the butt to get the right resistance if you don't have the right ones. As you can see in this video, I'm putting two resistors in parallel. When you put resistors in parallel, this cuts their resistance in half. Now some of you may be saying, I can't do resistors. I don't know how to solder. Well, you know what? I don't use solder. I use hot glue. I bend the ends into hooks, I hook them into each other, and I hot glue them. As you can see here, the resistors are in series. This is to increase the resistance. Two 50 ohm resistors in series will give you 100 ohms of resistance. As you can see here, I've started in placing my LEDs and wiring into the system. Now, I like the hot gluing because I can bend them and work them in and make sure they're nice and snug in there before I actually hot glue them into place. I've got a lot of wires that I've got to work on, and it takes a little time, which is why you have to decide, do you really want to do LEDs? This was the importance of why I cut the grooves so that I don't get a bunch of bulging areas where I couldn't get the foam to sit down due to all the wires. Now I am using very thick wire, I believe it's 18 gauge, in order to do my LEDs. You can use thinner wire, but this is wire that I had on hand as scrap. It's always important that if you're working with LEDs to constantly test them. You want to make sure your LEDs are continuously working throughout this whole process as you put them in and tie them together to the resistors. So always test them because the last thing you want to do is get your prop completely built and find out you don't have a working LED or you broke the connection somewhere. As you can see here, I've been wiring up the rest of my sword. I'm using one LED per hole, and I'm using the glowing gem process that I've been working on in my other video to illuminate that in gems located on both sides of the hole. Now for the fun part, hot gluing your sword together. I do some tack gluing at the very top just to hold down the front piece. I line up the holes, and then for the longer areas, I don't do straight lines. I do crisscross hot glue in order to get as much contact surface area without having to use an excessive amount of hot glue. So once you've got the hot glue on, you need to press it down, hold pressure to make sure that it doesn't spread apart and dry with the hot glue being spread apart. You want it to keep it as flat as possible. It's best to have used books or something, but if you've got an object where it's not exactly quite flat, because I didn't want the core to come through accidentally, then you're going to have to sit there for a few minutes and just hold it with your hands. One of the reasons why I love working with foam is flexibility. So you can see here I'm bending up the ends of the foam to make sure I'm able to get hot glue in there. The foam isn't ripping, it's not damaging it, and because I'm going to hot glue it to the other piece, it's not going to be stuck permanently sticking up. Now, if you have been following my other videos, you'll recall that for the holes, what I'm doing is pre-filling them with window tint. The window tint adds additional reflectivity of the LED light that's in there. By slicing the window tint to the right size, I'm able to just easily slide them in and then start filling the holes with the hot glue. Remember that for me, I'm using the hot glue to help diffuse the LEDs. The other thing that's nice about this is the hot glue helps add stability to my structure. And as always, test your LEDs. So I went through the wires, figure out which ones were connected to which ones, positive, negative, and tested my LEDs to ensure that during this process, none of my LEDs became broken. Otherwise, it would have been a very painful process to get all of the hot glue out and fix the LEDs. If you have any questions, send them my way. And as always, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to my channels. Thank you. Have a great day.